Farmington. Registration begins at 7 a.m. on Saturday, September 18th. The walk begins at 8 a.m. at San Juan Regional Medical Center. Walkers raising at least $50 receive a t-shirt. Find out more online at sanjuanmedicalfoundation.com. The 41st Annual Cancer Walkathon, Saturday, September 18th. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, here to meet your urgent and emergent medical needs, whether they are COVID-19 related or not. Medical emergencies happen when you least expect them. Whether it's a stroke, heart attack, illness, or injury, San Juan Regional Medical Center's caregivers are here to provide care to you and your loved ones. Find out more online at sanjuanregional.com. Twelve minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Monday morning, August 30th, 2021. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Michlin. Thanks for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM over the air here in San Juan County, 103.3 FM in the Durango, Colorado area, and streaming everywhere else on Earth from our website, KSJE.com, and that includes your smart speaker, by the way. Welcome also to our viewers who are watching this visual radio program. The video is streaming live this morning out to the KSJE Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and our Twitter account. We're glad that you are joining us this morning, everyone, because coming up, an important conversation about the wall that heals. This special presentation is coming to Farmington and San Juan County in the next couple of weeks. We'll give you all the details about the event, how you can come see it, how you might be able to volunteer to help, and much, much more. That's our conversation that begins in the next few moments right here on KSJE. Then later on this hour, it's our technology conversation, our Monday reboot segment at 8:50 a.m. Lewis Campbell will be joining me for that later on this morning. And next hour, it's Roving with the Arts, our classical music program with Mick Hess. And this morning, Mick is featuring music from Jean Sibelius. That's coming up today on Roving with the Arts at 9:06 on KSJE. In addition to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, we remind you to connect with us on our Instagram page as well, if you're a social media Instagram person. And checking the forecast outside our studios here at San Juan College, it is 66 degrees at the moment. We have mostly sunny skies. The temperature will be 91 by the end of the day today, with maybe a chance of a scattered shower or thunderstorm. Overnight, 63. Then tomorrow, another chance of a scattered shower or thunderstorm with a high near 90 on Tuesday. Cooling off Wednesday and Thursday down to 79, 83 on Friday, lower 80s for Saturday and Sunday. Again, still that scattered shower chance in the forecast, and overnight lows right around 60 degrees. Well, let me introduce my guest who is here with me this morning, the chair of the Wall That Heals Committee, bringing this great event to Farmington. Lillian Clopine is here. Good morning and welcome back to KSJE. Good to have you here.
Thank you so much, Scott, and thank you for KSJE having us.
You bet. It's great to have you here to talk about this event, this replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall that maybe folks have seen in Washington, D.C., whether in person or on television or things along that line. But you and your committee are bringing it to Farmington in the Four Corners.
Yes, excuse me. Yes, we are. It'll be here next week. The 7th of Tuesday next week is the Escort, which will begin at the La Plata County Fairgrounds. And that is to escort the 53-foot tractor trailer that comes with the wall, transports the wall to our community. So that's on Tuesday. And then Wednesday morning, we have volunteers that will be setting up the wall. They're here at the San Juan College athletic field. That's where it'll be when it's here, right?
Yes. Okay.
And then that evening, volunteer training at 6 p.m. at the wall, which should be erected by then. And then on Thursday evening at 6 p.m. is the honors ceremony. Everyone is invited. There's no fee for coming to the wall. This is free to the public.
Right.
And that's at 6 p.m. on Thursday, the honors ceremony, which we think will be a very memorable event. Mm-hmm. Kirkland Air Force Base is going to be involved with an honor guard, and they're also going to do a flyover during the ceremony.
Wow, very nice.
And
very
then,
nice.
Saturday at 9 a.m. is the Navajo blessing ceremony. So we have several important events connected with the wall, and we just want our public to know and come out to the wall. And it will be open 24 hours a day starting at midnight on Wednesday.
Okay. Good to know. And so let's talk a little bit about this project. And you were telling me before we came on the air this morning that you had heard about the wall, another community that was interested in the wall, and then got to thinking about why not here?
Exactly. I read this magazine article about a community in Missouri, small rural community, that they didn't bring the wall to their community, but they participated heavily in volunteering. And I'm thinking, why can't we do that for our community? So that's what precipitated this.
Right. And how long ago was that? To give us a timeline.
Yeah, a year ago, May.
Okay. And so from that came the idea to look into how to do that and how to get the wall here and set up an application and see how that goes. And then, of course, there's been this global pandemic, which impacted a few things like traveling walls and things like that. So
yes, the 2020 tour was canceled because of COVID. And then after we put in our application, we were notified that all of those communities would have priority for this year. So we thought it was highly unlikely we'd have an opportunity to get a slot for this year. But then in November, when they announced all of the 2021 slots, we were one of the communities. So
congratulations.
yes, we're very pleased.
And then the real work began, I suppose, when that came
Right,
through, right? To get your committee together and maybe raise some money?
Yes, putting an application was pretty easy, but then once you're accepted, you realize, oh, there's a lot of work ahead of you.
Right. But you've got 3 major sponsors, I know, at least 3, that are helping to make this possible.
Yes, Pinion Hill Seventh-day Adventist Church here in Farmington, and the Farmington Chick-fil-A there on Main Street, and the Blue Star Mothers of New Mexico.
Very good. And they're all helping to make this possible.
Yes.
And you've got a bunch of volunteers, and you're still looking for more volunteers, too. We could talk about that.
Yes, absolutely. I know some of your listeners and viewers would be interested in participating in this event, and they can go to the Facebook page for The Wall That Heals. And be sure to put in Farmington, because there's a lot of other communities.
Right, or else you'll volunteer over in Duluth or something if you're not careful.
And click on the link. It's a Sign Up Genius, and this page that you're seeing now will come up, and you can select your day and your time slot.
Because you mentioned it's open 24 hours, so that tells me you're going to need volunteers 24 hours?
Yes, we do. In the midnight to 6 a.m. is a slot that's a little bit harder to fill. So if people feel that would work for them, that would be much appreciated. You can also go to the Pinion Hill Seventh-day Adventist Church website, and there on the home page near the top is click to volunteer, and this page will come up there as well.
Got you. And on this Sign Up Genius website, you can pick and choose the days and times that you want to help.
Exactly.
It's kind of the idea. I can tell you that from midnight to 6 a.m. it's cooler if you're volunteering.
That's my thought.
So there's that going for it, right? And maybe a little quieter, I would think.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons that the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund decided to have it open 24 hours a day, is for those people that are very uncomfortable. They carry a lot of emotional wounds or traumas from the war, and it's difficult for them to come to the wall during the day when there's a lot of people, and in the evening it's quieter, it's more reflective, and they can come and spend time at the wall without being disturbed.
Sure. I know for many people it's a very emotional and just patriotic time to go. And of course, if your family was impacted by the Vietnam War, if you have a name that you know or from your family on that wall, it's an important part of maybe the process to go and recognize and remember that person.
And that's why they call it the healing wall. It does impact these people when they come to the wall and see that special name on the wall. It does help them work through the process. Even though it's been decades, they're still dealing with issues related to the war.
Right. And this wall, you were telling me too, is directly related to the wall in Washington, D.C. The foundation behind both of them is the same thing, same group.
Correct. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund is the nonprofit group that raised the funds to build the memorial in D.C., and they also built this traveling wall. And this is the only traveling wall that is actually associated with the memorial in D.C.
Interesting. And they are still updating both the wall in Washington, D.C. and this wall then by association when there's an update to a name, unidentified remains, or something else that's still being done these many years later, right?
It's surprising this many years since the war, there's over 1,500 names on the wall that are missing in action. Over time, some of those names are identified as killed in action, and they change the little mark next to the name to indicate it's killed in action as opposed to missing in action. And just about a month ago, there was 2 names that were changed. So it's still going on, even at this late date.
Right. And when that happens, this wall is updated then too.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
the same. And as we can see on these photos, it is lighted at night, and so it's stunning. And it really does make a statement, and I think it's just impressive. And I think the whole design of the memorial is impressive. If you haven't seen it in D.C., this is the next best thing.
Yes, it is an impressive and moving monument. I've had a number of people tell me that when they go to the wall, they see the names, because each name has a story, and it's a young life cut short. And it's almost overwhelming to realize that each one of those was a person with loved ones and family. And most of them, the age range, a large majority of them were 22 years and 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And
so, it is impressive. And there are, unfortunately, a lot of names on that wall, a lot of families, a lot of stories.
Over 58,000.
Right. And so bringing it here, and again, I think the timing is something, and you were telling me that that's not really something that the organizers necessarily point to, but I think the timing of having it here during September 11th, when we're all thinking maybe a little more patriotically than other times of the year and things along that line, it's just kind of I don't know, I think it's a nice thing to have it here.
I think it's kind of special. Again, the people in Arlington, Virginia don't want to make that connection, but I think it's a natural connection to make, and other people have commented it's over the 9/11 weekend that the wall will be here.
Right. And so, again, just a way to go and check it out. And as you mentioned, the location, which you needed to find, and there were probably several specifications that you had to meet and match to make sure that it would fit on the spot, but it's going to be here at San Juan College at the athletic fields, which, if folks aren't aware, it's on the north side of campus, just off of Pinion Hills Boulevard, basically.
Yes, we did go through a number of proposed sites, and we selected the athletic fields here at the college. It meets all of the major criteria, and we're so appreciative that the college has made this available to us, and Parks and Recreation is preparing the site, the grounds, and also it'll be in tip-top shape for the wall.
Very good. And so, and again, to have it available 24 hours a day when it's here for those several days.
Yes.
That's important too.
One thing I want to mention, that the wall comes, the tractor trailer that transports the wall from community to community. Once the wall has been erected, the trailer opens up, the sides of the trailer opens up to become a mobile education center. And there will be tours conducted around the trailer during the event. We have 2 personnel that actually come from Arlington, Virginia with the wall, and they will be conducting tours around the Mobile Education Center as well.
Gotcha. And that's a part of this display.
Yes.
And that's important. And that Education Center talks a bit about the wall in D.C., or what types of things does it provide?
It's mostly focused on the Vietnam War, the conflict, what that was about, and the names, the story of these young men, and why they volunteered, and how it impacted their lives and all. And there'll be some items that have been left at the memorial in D.C. They'll be on display in this tractor trailer.
I see.
So it's basically to educate people more about the conflict.
Gotcha. Very good. And that's part of this that will be here.
Yes.
Again, it is the Wall That Heals here at the San Juan College athletic fields from September 9th through the 12th. And it'll be here before we know it, because this is almost the last day of August. So we're talking next week.
Yes, it's coming around very quickly. One thing I wanted to mention that we haven't spoken of yet is the Honors Escort.
Right. Tell me about that.
The Honors Escort, the tractor trailer transports the wall from community to community. The wall is coming from Brighton, Colorado, and it's going to park at the La Plata County Fairgrounds in Durango on the 7th. And then at 1 o'clock, anybody who is interested in participating in the Escort is invited to come. There's no registration, there's no fee. You just need to be there at the La Plata County Fairgrounds at 1 p.m. on the 7th. At 2, they call it Kickstands Up, and that's because we anticipate a lot of bikers will participate in this. The Escort begins. Our understanding is that 550 will be closed off both directions for the Escort to pass through, especially in that construction zone. And then it will proceed to Aztec and Bloomfield and then come up Main Street here in Farmington and then on to Pinion Hills and then to the college athletic fields.
Gotcha.
So that is on the 7th, Tuesday the 7th, and then Wednesday is when they erect it.
Right. And so that's an opportunity for folks to be involved in that Escort from Durango to Farmington. And you just have to be at La Plata County Fairgrounds, which is kind of north of Durango there.
Yes.
North of downtown, I would say, by 1 o'clock.
By 1 o'clock. Also, people, if they're not participating in the actual Escort ride, we would love people to come out and stand on the sidewalks and the sides of the streets to welcome the truck as it goes by.
Right. And you mentioned kind of it's going to try to hit all the communities, basically, coming between here and Durango. So, again, it's coming down 550 to Aztec, and then we'll continue south to Bloomfield, and then turn west from Bloomfield into Farmington, coming down and going through downtown?
Yes, going on. I think Main Street is what they've decided on.
It's okay with roundabouts and that
that's
big semi-truck?
That's a good point.
Okay. We'll
we
figure
need
that
to
out.
avoid the roundabouts. But,
Right, so maybe Broadway, but it's going to be downtown.
Broadway to Main might work.
And then coming up, I assume on the Plata Highway to San Juan College, to Pinion Hills. Would that be the route, you think?
Up Main Street to Pinion Hills, turn left on Pinion Hills to the college.
I see. Okay. That's where we're going. So
Okay.
I hear you. I
Okay.
think I got it. I think I
You
got
got
it.
it.
But there you go. We'll get the route and share it with everybody. But anyway, if you're part of that honors escort, you'll be in it, obviously. But if you want to, come alongside the road and welcome and see it as it comes through, certainly the best bet would be on 550 between Aztec and Bloomfield, from Bloomfield into Farmington,
Yes.
and then of course around the college. You can't miss it here
No,
either.
it'll be pretty obvious.
Yeah, so there you go. That's good to know. And just another part of this whole project, and one more thing, I guess, that you as chair have to kind of coordinate and help to make happen. And those were some of the other things, and these other ceremonies too. Talk to me a bit
Yes.
about those, because those are important as well, that folks understand as the site opens at midnight. On the 9th, you'll have a ceremony at 6 p.m. that same day.
On Thursday, the 9th, yes, we'll have a ceremony there at the wall, the honors ceremony. We're working hard to make this a memorable event. The Kirkland Air Force Base is involved. They're going to do an honor guard for us, and then at the end of the ceremony, they'll be doing a flyover. We have a keynote speaker that we're very pleased with, Dr. Stenbakken, who was a chaplain in the Vietnam War for a year, and during that time he received 2 bronze medals for valor. He has a number of credentials, and he was a chaplain in the military for 24 years. Developed a chaplaincy program that is used throughout the military, but just a very fine gentleman with a lot of experience with the military and in the war, and we're just very pleased to have him.
Very good. And that is the honor ceremony at 6 p.m. on the 9th, and then you have another, which I think is very significant in this area for sure, the Navajo blessing ceremony on September 11th on Saturday at 9 a.m.
At 9 a.m. is the blessing ceremony. President Nez will be speaking at that ceremony. I believe there's a drum ceremony as part of the blessing, and I believe that'll be another very memorable service. Right,
very much so. And again, this conflict, this war in Vietnam affected families from throughout the country, but a lot of families I know here where it certainly is something that they remember and have given some of their young children and young soldiers in this war, and so I think it will be especially meaningful for them and for folks from the reservation as well. And you mentioned that you wanted this to be a regional event, and there's no reason why folks from Cortez, from Pagosa, from Durango, who also lost or have folks to remember from that time, could come and see the wall as well.
Yes, it is our goal to have this a Four Corners event, not a Farmington event. So we want to be very inclusive and invite all of the surrounding communities to this event. One thing I want to mention is that at the Mobile Education Center, there's two digital displays. One is the honors not the honors ceremony, but the roll of honor, and that is all of the young men who are on the wall that are from our area, and they're going to include not only the San Juan County individuals, but all the counties that touch San Juan County will be on this digital display, which will be a rolling display with the person's photograph and their name. So there's the honor roll, and then there's also the in-memory program. That's also a digital display. Those people did not pass away during the war, but they came home from the Vietnam conflict and then subsequently passed away from injuries or issues related to the war. And so they have digital recognition as well.
Oh, nice. And that is kind of fine-tuned, I guess, for those communities where the wall is going, as you're mentioning, right? So they can
Exactly. The people in Arlington, Virginia, where the headquarters is, they pull those names and put them on the digital display.
Right. So that's wonderful. And so, again, from beyond San Juan County, if you think about the counties that touch San Juan County, we're into Arizona, well, certainly into the Four Corners states, La Plata, Montezuma County,
yes.
Rio Arriba. And so some of those counties here, McKinley
area.
County, it is a lot of folks, as I'm trying to think in my mind of all the counties to mention, but those are most of them, if not all of them. So that's a great addition as well. And so for the volunteers, talk to me a bit about how many more folks you think you will be needing for this event, because you have just about a week to get them signed up.
Right. Anybody who's interested in participating in this event, we encourage them to go to the Facebook page for the Wall That Heals Farmington and click on Sign Up Genius, and you can select your time slot and day on that and volunteer. So we have, I believe there's probably 30 slots still available. I haven't done a count this morning, but there's still some opportunities to volunteer. I wanted to mention that for the volunteers on Tuesday morning at 7:30 at the Pinon Hill Seventh-day Adventist Church, there's a prayer breakfast, and we have a guest speaker. It's the same Dr. Stenbakken, who's the keynote speaker at the honors ceremony. So we would welcome people to come, volunteers to come to that event, and that will be catered by Si Senor, so we think it'll be a tasty meal.
Right.
And Si Senor, I just want to give them a plug that they've been very generous in providing this breakfast for us. So that is at 7:30 on Tuesday morning, and then at 6 p.m. at the Wall is the training session. We encourage all the volunteers to come to that event. Some people can't make that, doesn't work out for their schedule, but that's okay. We'll work with them and make sure they get the training they need, even if it's one-on-one.
Gotcha. But so volunteers should understand that they will have some training
Yes,
to do this job, and whatever they've signed up for, they'll be able to get some training and have their questions answered.
Yes, exactly. Most of the training is going to involve helping or assisting visitors to finding names on the wall, because it's not alphabetized, it's according to casualty, date of casualty, and so it can be a little bit confusing about how it's arranged on the wall. And so they'll be having volunteers get the app on their phone, and they can assist visitors finding names on the wall. They can assist visitors with providing pencil and paper to do rubbings of the names on the wall, and just generally assist people, be sensitive to their emotions as
Sure.
they visit, and just be helpful and kind.
Right. And this wall is obviously a replica of the wall in Washington, D.C., not one-to-one, but it's pretty close.
It's a 3/4 replica. The one in D.C., linear feet is about 500, and this one's 375. So even though at 3/4, it's a pretty substantial display there. It does make a statement.
Right. Well, and you mentioned the rubbings, which I know is very popular in D.C. as well. And so I think maybe some walls don't have that embossed or recessed engraving of the names to do the rubbings. This one does.
These names are engraved into the wall,
which is good to know. And it's again a dramatic display, as you can see on the screen right now. It'll be here in Farmington beginning next week, and it opens to the public at midnight on September the 9th, and it'll be open through the 12th. And is that midnight again, or what time does the wall
12th,
close?
It closes at 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
on Saturday.
Okay.
And so at that time, they'll close the event, and the volunteers that disassemble the wall will disassemble it and store it back in the truck. And then the truck is on its way to Blackfoot, Idaho next.
It's off to Idaho. Got you.
Yes.
And September, we just want to be clear, 2 p.m. Sunday the 12th is when the wall will close.
Sunday the 12th, 2 p.m.
Right.
Yes.
Got you. And so you'll have all those few days to see it when it is here, including September 11th, of course, which is a week from Saturday. So, Lillian, thank you for coming in this morning and talking with me about the wall that heals, and thanks to all the folks who are helping you to put this all together. I know it's a big effort to make this happen.
Yes, it is a big effort, and there's a lot of people involved, a lot of businesses involved with helping us to bring this to our community, and we truly appreciate them. They will be mentioned and thanked on the banner at the wall site.
Very good. Well, good luck with it. We look forward to seeing it, and it's great that it's going to be here right at San Juan College. I think it's a great partnership, and thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you, Scott, for having us.
You're welcome. That is Lillian Clopine. She is the chair of the Wall That Heals, coming to Farmington, San Juan County, and the Four Corners, September 9th through the 12th.
It's every kid's dream come true.